out of Texas, this abortion case. The 6-week ban is what it's being called. The unique part about this is while the state is putting the ban in place, the enforcement is not done by any state actors.
With this bill, the enforcement is with private citizens. So the ruling that the Supreme Court came down with yesterday denying the injunction really was on procedural basis because they didn't bring basically the right defendant. They came after a judge and not the private citizens. So it was a procedural ruling and not one substantively on abortion, the right to life, or the right to abortion.
They were very, very creative in crafting this law. And I think it also sends a signal to other states that they need to think outside of the box in order to limit the practice of abortion in the United States. But keep in mind that the pro-abortion, pro-eugenics crowd, they will attack with full force any attempt to limit abortion.
This law in Texas is at the very early stage of state court, which is one of the issues that the Supreme Court justices who favored allowing the law to go into effect, they said, listen, the lawsuit here is against the judge who just they're able to make a decision whether or not they want to issue an injunction or not. That is, again, so who is the defendant?
We see 4 justices that are willing to throw out procedural law, which I believe they would have agreed with on any other case. However, because this case deals with abortion, they're willing to say it doesn't matter. And even some of the dissenting opinions were basically saying, yes, this was not brought properly, but because it's abortion, we need to hear it. So you see that abortion distortion is at play here. However, just like you said, this is not about, this case was a procedural case and issue. This is not like the Dobbs case, which actually addresses the issue of abortion and Roe v. Wade. And just like Harry appropriately pointed out, the judicially fabricated right to abortion that Roe v. Wade created. That's not at issue here.
We should also push back against the notion that this particular bill, this particular lawsuit, and this particular decision basically is grounded in the notion that it's procedural rather than an attack on Roe v. Wade. But also we should note that Roe v. Wade is not in the Constitution, that Roe v. Wade itself is questionable.
This law has gone into effect in Texas. The left is going crazy. But ultimately, what the Supreme Court decided on was a technical issue.
Many individuals in the left, including Michael Moore and Dan Rather, suggests that this decision and similar decisions by the Supreme Court basically makes one point and one point only, that evangelical Christians who support this particular bill have become America's Taliban. This is nonsense on stilts. And then we have President Biden suggesting that the Supreme Court, in its procedural decision, has engaged in what? Unconstitutional chaos. And he fails to remember his own chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan.
These are states that, yes, maybe this didn't work, maybe this will work, maybe we can do this. But what that means is that the people being elected are dedicated to fighting for the life of the unborn, as we are at the ACLJ. It doesn't mean you get victories every path along the way, but right now in Texas, this law is in force. Don't know if that will be the case months from now, but I do know it is right now.